Hi, I'm Comrade Vladimir, and this is Double Plus Real News. I just finished reading an article by Dennis Prager about the Pulitzer Prize winning book, The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. Mr. Prager feels that it would be more useful if someone were to write a book about the denial of evil, because while we cannot prevent death, we can prevent evil. He goes on to claim that communism has deprived humans of rights. They've tortured, starved, and killed more people than any other ideology in history. And that it is important that everyone knows what communism did. And we have a moral obligation to the victims, not to forget them, just like Americans have a moral obligation to not forget the victims of slavery. Many young people today believe communism is a viable, even morally superior option for modern societies. Prager tells us that we need to confront the historical facts of communism so that torture, enslavement, and murder do not happen again on such a massive scale. The Black Book of Communism, published by Harvard University, supposedly gives the facts and figures. And the numbers do not include the hundreds of millions of people who were not murdered, the systematic canceling of the right to speak freely, to worship, to start a business, or even travel without party permission. Here's a quote from the article. "Those who do not confront real evil often make up evils that are much easier to confront." But personally, I don't think Americans are making up evil things. We can see plenty of horrible things. They're happening every day all around us. You can watch it on the nightly news. I can see that we have a few people in our studio audience today, so we'll take a few questions. There, sitting in the middle. Could someone hand her the microphone?
Please use gender-neutral pronouns.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we just did a show on pronouns. So what are your preferred pronouns?
Za, zi, zi, zo, zoo.
Okay. And what is your question?
Does the author give the number of people killed by communist regimes?
Yes, he says that according to the Black Book of Communism, the numbers of ordinary citizens trying to live their lives that were murdered by communist regimes were Latin America, 150,000, Vietnam, 1 million, Eastern Europe, 1 million, Ethiopia, 1.5 million, North Korea, 2 million, Cambodia, 2 million, the Soviet Union, 20 million, China, 65 million. And he mentions that these were only the verified numbers, but that the real numbers were probably much higher.
What evils does the author say are made up?
Oh, things like systemic racism, toxic masculinity, and heteronormativity.
Why do you say these are not made up?
Well, like I said, we can see them happening every day in the United States. Black men being murdered by police at astounding rates, discrimination against almost every marginalized group, the re-emergence of white supremacy and domestic terrorist plots to overthrow the government. Over the past year, we saw hundreds of mostly peaceful protests for racial justice across the country. So don't tell me that Black lives don't matter.
Do you have any statistics to prove that?
Well, I'll have to circle back on that one. If we have no more questions, please stand by for these important messages.
And it's being treated in hospital. But it was these lies that were spread on social, the American way of life. So not just the American criminal justice system, the rule of law, but also the concept of property rights. And so whenever you see these nights of looting and all that, there's no condemnation.
In violently disruptive or destructive acts as well as mob violence. According to the data collected by the U.S. Crisis Monitor, the U.S. experienced 637 riots.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
And that's our news. Double plus good.
From Russia with love, I fly to you, much wiser since my goodbye to you. I've traveled the world to learn I must return from Russia with love. I've seen places, faces, and smiled for a moment, but oh, you haunted me so. Still my tongue tied, Young pride would not let my love for you show, in case you'd say no. To Russia I flew, but there and then I suddenly knew you'd care again. My running around is through. I fly to you from Russia with